Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you're settling back into the new year and hope the first few days are going well for you. These few days, I suppose, are the most difficult getting back in after the break. But of course, by the time Monday comes, we will be all back to normal again. So today, what I wanted to share with you as we start back into the new year, I want to share with you 5 tips to succeed in your career in 2023. And just like it has been over the last number of years, it's continuous change. Like change is the only constant. And in this ever changing economy, we have to be able to adapt. We have to be able to change. And what I want to share with you here today are 5 things you need to start thinking about, or maybe you're hopefully already doing these, but you need to do them maybe at the next level. So taking everything to the next level. Because what we need to do is we need to get prepared for change and decide, and you need to start deciding on the actions you will take so that you are at the leading edge of the next wave of change that we are seeing in 2023 that we probably don't even know about yet, right? So we need to be at the leading edge of that change, because all of the time we're getting, even yesterday evening, I heard more communications of layoffs, redundancies. Things are changing all the time. The economy is changing. We need to be able to respond to that as best as possible. So the first one I want to share with you here, and before I even start, I suppose the most important thing about all of this is we need to demonstrate our leadership in a world that has never been more connected by technology, but unfortunately is feeling more disconnected than ever. So showing your leadership in your career in that space is really going to be able to catapult you forward in achieving what it is you can achieve, the impact you want to be able to make in 2023, which is going to be so important for you. So the first tip I want to talk to you about is about visibility, right? So it's about helping you to understand that visibility is more important now than ever, since most people are working, or many people are working in either a remote or a hybrid environment. And even for those who are going to the office constantly, I hear this all the time of, well, it's not the same as it was before. I love going to the office, but now I don't have that vibe and there's not as many people in the office anymore. So visibility is really, really important for you in your career. And what you need to do is you need to ensure that you're taking the time to focus on the quality and consistency of the value that you are offering. So the value and consistency of the what you're offering, while aligning it to the visibility of your contribution, right? So obviously we want to continuously always offer value in our roles, and we need to be consistent with offering that quality and that value. But you also need to make sure that it's aligned with the visibility and the content of the contribution you're making. And this is a really important consideration for you when you're building your personal brand and teeing up your future career opportunities. So thinking about, where do you want to get to in 2023 in your role? And how are you going to get there? How are you going to go getting there is by looking at where you can provide quality in the focus area that you want to be seen visible. You want to be visible in the space because you want more of it, but you need to provide that quality of value consistently. And you need to make sure that it's aligned to you getting the visibility around that contribution as well. There's no point in you going off doing great, work and, doing great quality work in the area you want to be in, but nobody really knows about it. Okay, so thinking about visibility, how visible are you now within the space that you're operating in your company, your organization, within the marketplace? You don't want to be the best kept secret, right? That's certainly where we don't want to be, right? So that's the first consideration, visibility. So how visible are you in relation to the contributions, the quality contributions that you're making to your role in your organization? And how are you ensuring that those contributions are high quality, consistent contributions, and ensuring that you're getting the visibility that's aligned to it? There are many ways you can do that. And I actually probably spend another session, another live talking about that specifically. The second one I want to talk to you about is relationships. Okay, so relationships, as you already know, are key to your career success, and making the time to build relationships and to focus on relationships with your key stakeholders And with individuals with whom you know that you share mutual value. Really, really important. So understanding who are the key stakeholders that you share mutual value. You both have value to share with each other, and you can therefore support one another. You support one another by building advocates for each other's contribution and value that you offer. So think about that. Think about the relationships that you probably want to really focus on. So we can build relationships every day, all the time. But from a more intentional, focused perspective, I want you to start thinking about, what are or who are the key stakeholders that you need to build your build that relationship with, where there is a mutual value that you can offer to each other. And also in support of that, you can be advocates for each other in relation to your value and contribution. And another piece there around relationships is, again, going back to what I said earlier on, we're not probably getting to meet as often anymore like we were used to in previous years with hybrid and remote working. Therefore, making the effort to organize and attend in-person meetings when they do happen is now more important than ever. It's really, really important to be visible, to build the relationships, because our opportunities to meet our peers and our stakeholders are limited now more than ever, because we're not guaranteed if we go into the office one day that we're going to meet everybody we want to meet, right? So being really, really intentional about that is going to be so, so important for you to succeed in your career in 2023, and also to be able to navigate the inevitable challenges that are going to be presented right throughout this year. So you want to be on the leading edge of that change. The third one I want to share with you is around adaptability. So, and this is about adapting our behaviors in response to the rapid growth of automation, digitization in a hybrid or remote working environment. We need to be able to really adapt so that we can receive information and really apply new concepts in real time. Because as I keep saying over and over again, there has been a lot of change, but there's a lot more change coming in 2023, and you want to be ahead of that, right? So really seeing how you're adapting your behaviors in response to rapid growth in all of these areas that we've just mentioned, right? You really need to focus on that. So, reviewing your behaviors, your processes that you use on a daily basis, how can you adapt more quickly and stay on top of this rapid advancement of technology that is enabling business growth? You want to be on the edge of that. You want to be leading that growth. And also by being at that leading edge and by, adapting your behaviors to be at the leading edge of that change, it will reduce the stress on you and increase your resilience in a dynamic business environment. So that's really, really important one for you to think about. The fourth point I want to share with you is communication and leadership skills. So the more we depend on technology, the less time we are spending face to face. And therefore, what's happening here are people are getting out of practice on how to communicate effectively through face-to-face interactions, right? It's so, so clear that, everybody went away from each other for about 12 or 18 months. We're now back together, but we're back together in a very different way. And we're communicating in a very different way. Technology is coming in and giving us all these tools and platforms to communicate in. But unfortunately, it's getting in the way of this face-to-face communication, which we know is the most valuable than ever. Absolutely, technology is wonderful, but there's nothing like that face-to-face interaction every now and then. So what happens then is when we've got out of practice of this face-to-face interaction, it's impacting our communication and our decision-making effectiveness, right? Because we're operating from a different perspective, a different way, right? We're just not having that face-to-face interaction, which, brings us into a lot of sub-conversations. We're building that relationship. There's loads of things that are happening around that. So what I want to ask you then today is to think about how you can adapt, and understanding how you can adapt your communication style to various audiences. So when you're going out there to meet people that you probably haven't met in a while, or meet new individuals, finding out about that individual if you can beforehand, and how can you communicate most effectively with that individual, And really, promoting more opportunities for face-to-face interaction. And this will help you. So when you're taking the lead on this, when you're taking the lead of, as I said earlier on, increasing the visibility, also working on building those relationships, being more adaptable, working on the communication, and how you want to get people together and communicate. This is really going to help you to be seen as a leader, right? It's really, really important. And it will demonstrate your leadership in a world, again, as I said, it has never been more connected by technology, but is feeling more disconnected than ever. So taking the opportunity and leading the way to collaborate, face to face with individuals on a regular basis is going to be so, so valuable. And it is going to be the key differentiating factor, absolutely, going forward to the success for you, for your team, for your organization. And the last tip I want to share with you here is upskilling and reskilling, right? Because what we need to do is we need to stay ahead of the changing market demands. As roles are being outsourced, they're being automated, eliminated, which may include your core skill, right? So rather than stick our heads in the sand and hope that, well, they'll always need me, my skill will always be needed. Hopefully it will, but maybe it'll be needed in a different way. Maybe it'll need to be delivered in a different platform. Maybe it's going to be delivered in many different forms, or maybe there's going to be something that'll take over. So you need to keep that on front of mind and stay on top of market trends and discover where your core skill is heading. So that you can do whatever you need to do, and you can be on the leading edge of that wave of change. So you staying on top of, well, where's my core skill going? What's happening with the skill right now? And then let you be the leading edge of that next wave of change, rather than being, an after fact, right? You want to be leading that. And how are you going to do that? You're going to do that through upskilling, through reskilling, and also, which is more important than ever, is having a voice in the advancement of this area. So having a voice in the advancement of your area of expertise in your core skill. So they are the 5 tips I want to share with you today. They're really, really key points that are going to be the key differentiating factors for you to be successful in 2023 in an economy and an environment where there's never been more change before, right? And you need to stay on the leading edge of this. If you want to be in the leading edge of what's in front of us in 2023, follow those 5 steps, see what they really mean for you and what you can do next to make that happen.